So hello again to our fantastic audience in Fika Podcast. Thank you for being with us again. We have been talking lately a lot about, leadership, about trying to overcome adversity, about many different things. But today we have decided to put the spotlight on our products. So we're gonna be having a fantastic conversation with one of the most relevant colleagues in the Oriflame global marketing team to discuss and to know more about our products. So before we get started, as always, I will beg you please to hit the subscribe button because I know that this content will be relevant for you and your team. And the more you subscribe, you don't miss the other content that will be available soon. Plus also share this information with your network, with your people, with your family, with anybody who might be interested, not only in Oriflame, not only in network marketing, but today especially interested in fragrances, because this is a fantastic product range that we will be addressing. So today, we're gonna be having in Fika Podcast, in the Fika studio, we're having one of my dearest friends in Oriflame, but she's not only that, but also, and more importantly, she's responsible for something around 50% of the Oriflame business with the categories that she runs from the global marketing team. So we're not talking about a small responsibility, we're talking about a huge responsibility that this very young executive and very proactive and intelligent and influential leader that we have today in our Fika studio. So buckle up, grab a cup of coffee. I have the best cup of coffee because I have the Fika cup of coffee. I know she doesn't have it, but I'm privileged to have the Fika cup of coffee. But make sure that the coffee is very hot because we're gonna have a fantastic conversation. So many of you have seen her in the Oriflame conferences. Many of you, if you're Mexican and if you live in Mexico City, you probably saw her in the event that we had in the Fronton some months back. And also if you're Peruvian, you probably saw her in Lima in a big launch not so many months ago. So, but let be herself, let Sasha to present and to introduce herself to the broader audience in Fika Podcast. So Sasha, welcome. Tell our audience who you are, what you do in Oriflame briefly, and let's get started. And thank you for being here, Sasha.
Hi, Santiago. Thank you for introducing me. Super big honor and pleasure being here with you today with the Mexico, especially one of the markets I love and the brand partners I follow and look up for leadership as well. I'm Sasha. Sometimes people think what's wrong because it's Alexandra, but for friends, and I consider all the audience my friends here, I'm Sasha. That's why I go by with. I'm here in Stockholm, so even though you're having Fika Cup, I'm actually having the true Swedish experience with this summer as it is outside. I've been around with Oriflame for 13 years now, starting actually in the field next to the brand partners and knowing how it is to be there in the markets. And then for the last 10 years, I've started from I call it my success plan, my stairs. I started to the very bottom as a junior brand manager, learning the craft of creating products and then trying different categories. And recently, so since January this year, just 6 months, I'm with Fragrances and as you said, heading the half almost of the business with an amazing team from all over the world. And we have a Mexican in the team, which I'm very proud of as well. We stole it from Santiago. So we represent the world to know how to develop the best products for the countries that we're in. So that's in short about me.
Yeah, very good. And let's ask some kind of silly questions before we gear up and get into the serious matters. How do you say Fika in Latvian?
We don't have Fika in Latvian. Apparently, we missed this thing. And we only have lunch, which is pusdienas, and then the dinner, which is vakariņas. But we need to figure out that there is a right time for Fika at 3 o'clock.
Sasha, an even more stupid question today is, are you as tall as Kristaps Porzingis?
Almost that good. I'm only 176. When I sleep well, 178. But apparently, Latvian women are considered to be tallest in the world, and I contribute to it. But yes, next time we're together, take a picture for proof.
Yeah, for those who don't really know who that guy is, he's a star in the NBA. He's one of the most influential players in the NBA, and it is also from Latvia, as Sasha is also from Latvia. So let's get started, Sasha. So the big question here is, people need to understand and to really know, why should they go for an Oriflame fragrance instead of buying a branded fragrance in one of those duty frees? So give us the reasons, the very few but very powerful reasons why to go for an Oriflame fragrance.
Super. And I have them ready because I think it's important. First, Oriflame is one of the few ones who actually are developing fragrances for 50 more years, more than 50. And we develop them with the best fragrance houses, perfume houses in the world. We have this heritage of knowing what consumers, what clients really need in all the 60 markets that we are in. So this is the big strengths that we have. Why and how do I know it? We have our products available everywhere. Every second, someone is buying an Oriflame fragrance. Every second, someone is buying it. So it's not just me bragging about. We actually see that people want it. It's seen through the results. Second thing is we have amazing quality of a product. Quality of a product, both ingredients, but also production, is key to us. And we own our production facilities in Europe. So it's our factories that we make the fragrances in, so we control the whole process. Then also our products, our packs, the packaging, the glasses that we have, are a piece of art on their own. So some people I know are buying it because of how it looks first, and then they discover the fragrance and they're in love because it's a total combo and they want them to be on their shelves at their homes. And also another proof, why do I know it, right? Because every year, somewhere around the globe, we get awards. As an example, All or Nothing Amplified, the recent launch of last year, is now nominated and won a Perfume of the Year in Portugal. Portugal is extremely competitive market for perfumes, and this was the innovation and the best fragrance in Portugal, and we get it for every year in some markets around. Thank you. So to me, these are the main on paper things. And then the other part is, Santiago, fragrances are about emotions. And actually how it's built, your nose have a lot of neurons directly connected to your brain. So when you smell something, it's the biggest sense that triggers the memories and the emotions. So with our portfolio that we have on different price shelves, at different targets for different people, you will always find something that people will connect to a great emotion, either create one that is new or the one that they had, and they will have an answer to their needs. So this is another reason. Other brands, you have to go search, you have to be learning about them. You have the proofs and you have big portfolio.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. I hope you guys are taking notes, because this is pure gold, what we are listening to. This is so important if you want to promote this category. Another kind of controversial thing, Sasha, that has popped up recently is that when you go online on social media, then you see so many influencers that are using these kind of makeup products, and they probably have makeup in half of their face and the other not, just they can see the difference, or they do the before and after, or those things. But it comes to when it comes to fragrances, it's a little bit more complicated to actually convey the scent of a fragrance through the digital channels. So it is complicated, but I know that there are another list of things that we have to do to promote our fragrances, despite the fact that we cannot use these type of tools digitally. What would your advice be for those brand partners, people that are interested on distributing and selling our fragrances? What can they actually promote if not digitally, or how do they use digitally tools to promote the fragrance?
Great. I think there are two ways, as you said. I would not give up fully on the digital part, because whatever fragrance we would smell together, you and I, we would have different memories, different perceptions. You might hate it, I might love it. So I think digitally, you always can present fragrances through ingredients, through comparison to something else in portfolio. If a person smelled it and it reminds you of this or that fragrance, but also visuals like emotions or colors. This smells yellow to me. And this already is helping. We're working on some types of quizzes. Hopefully we'll get those out soon to help you convey the message and convey the fragrance without smelling. It's smelling without smelling, how it's called. But for real, yes, I'm really, really, really excited about that, and we're working full speed to get it out to all of you.
But elaborate on that. Is it some kind of artificial intelligence gadget or something?
It is. Think of a quiz without the words, but with emotions and colors and pictures. That because again, you don't have one fragrances usually. It's not like a skincare routine that you found it and you stick to it. You would want to have fragrances for different occasions. You would want to have from different seasons, or you want to actually feel like, okay, I'm feeling rebellious now and I'll buy it, and maybe I will not use it all through and I'll give it to my cousin later, but it's about that emotion that you want to portray. So think of a quiz in an emotional, funny way that will come your way. But then the best way to try and experience the fragrance is to smell it. And to smell it, I mean, I brought here, of course, we look fancy with, this is called blotters, with these papers. And when you evaluate a lot of scents, this is really what you need to have. But to best know what fragrance fits you, your skin is the ultimate tool to know if it sits or not sits. So for you to be able to recommend fragrance, of course, you can always say what you like, but you need to bring some of it together with you to a client, or have a gathering, a meeting together where you can have some fragrances exposed and let them try on their skin. This is one of the ways. Also remember that the fragrances have the pyramid. There is always top notes that are up to 15 minutes, and they give you this first impression. You might hate it, might love it, but what will stay is the middle. That's from 15 minutes to the 6 hours, where that is the real personality of a fragrance. So if you let the person spray it, let them tell you what they think right away, but then talk about other things. Flip through the catalog, discuss how they've been, let 10 minutes pass, and then smell again. Because this is the true part of the fragrance that they will experience. And it will change, it will evolve, and that's where they will form. Do they like it or not like it? One more note. You probably have seen and heard that the coffee is great to have, when you're fatigued, when you're tired with smelling, sniff a coffee and it will refresh your plate. Thing is that coffee is not needed. I know, sorry to you Colombian and trying to get people buy more coffee for the economy, Santiago, but what coffee does, it kind of shocks your system and it will still disturb. So your memory will still be there of what you smelled before. Best thing to clean your plate is to smell your skin. So anywhere where you haven't sprayed the fragrance, just the clean scent of your skin will help you out. So if you don't have coffee around and you want people to smell 2-3 fragrances, that's a trick for you.
And that's finally, fantastic, Sasha. You're kind of destroying a myth around the coffee. Yeah.
And I learned it myself recently because I joined fragrances half a year ago, and I'm allowed to ask stupid questions. So I really do that, and I learned, and I'm happy to share. But Santiago, I didn't tell you about one last thing, if I may. And this is ultimate best. If you feel like a person is thinking about getting the product, if you have opportunity to offer them a sample, ultimately, this will be the best return on your work, because person will have a chance to have interaction with the fragrance at an intimacy of their own home, to apply it in a moment when they really want. And this is 1 milliliter, but the 1 milliliter is just enough to form this opinion from the very top to the very base of a fragrance. Leave it through. Some will not come back, but trust me, the investment you do in the samples will turn back to you with those who will, because they will feel a totally different experience versus being on spot and having to decide, especially if you're going to a parfum or a little bit more expensive products within the portfolio.
Absolutely. Great piece of advice, Sasha. And for you guys and ladies that are listening to this, think big, invest in these vials, in these testers, and then go for it, because people will have the chance to really experience the fragrance their own, and they will make a choice, and they will go for the fragrance we're offering. Okay, so coming a little bit on the same topic, Sasha, I heard you when you spoke about the all or nothing amplified, and also when you spoke about the Giordani latest launch, exactly floral. You emphasize a lot on the storytelling. You tell the story. It's not just the fragrance. It's kind of a story behind. And then some people ask, but why? Why a story? If all that matters is just the scent, why the story? And you know the reasons for the story. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. As I said, fragrance is, my team says it very well. It's a fragrant water in the end of the day. But what you have is emotions. Again, back to how our brain is structured, back to the smell is the first sense that is ready when you're bored. You can't walk, you can't talk, your sight is upside down, your hearing is a little bit off, but the scent is ready because it's for survival. So it's connected to memories. And to wrap up the fragrance, the scent, it's always about how you feel. You buy emotions. So story is meant to be to unfold to you what the fragrance is about. Is this a fragrance that will be bold, unapologetical, feminine? You stand your grounds and you feel, I will own this room in the podcast recording or in a meeting or on stage, wherever, or going to a school meeting for your kids. You need to be that the presence, you moment you enter, you own it. Or you want to feel very light and at ease and very relaxed, and then you will have another fragrance. So the stories around are to help people feel the emotion they want to experience, and then of course to smell olfactive. And if you don't like an ingredient, you will not match with it. Biggest ingredient, Santiago, for my countries is rose. Everyone loves rose. Rose is the thing. I hate rose. My team knows that if we develop a fragrance with rose, they don't give it for me to smell, because I have very bad memories about rose in my head. But I'm aware of this. So even though we tell stories and emotion, olfactive is important, but without the story, it's a scented water that is just nice to have. But it's like a wrapping to your present. It matters. And that's why we develop it. We develop it for people knowing what they want, what they're after, and then we solve it with a fragrance in the end. But the story is as important as the oils or the scents inside.
Very good, very good. Can you remind us, this is all saying that, I don't remember it correctly, but it's that the woman has to be noticed before entering the room or something? What was the saying?
Yes, it can be like this, that the woman would be noticed before she enters the room or remembered when she leaves the room. And of course, scent is also helping it out. And I think here, if I may, here's something to support what we started with. Why Oriflame products and the Oriflame fragrance specifically? You will see on the market very few to none other companies who have tests and claims to support fragrances. Usually fragrances are emotional, usually fragrances are about, concentration levels. So eau de toilette, parfum, eau de parfum, depends on this. At Oriflame, we have something special to support our brand partners as well, and to support that you don't always have a chance to smell it in real life, is claims. And very, very few have it. So as I said, all or nothing, we discussed this fragrance. It has 10 hours wear. It has room filling effect. So it's proven that the moment it enters, the room is filled. Everyone will notice. Up to 72 square meters. I mean, that's a big room. We have, trail. So as you have your fragrance and you walk, behind you, you have a trail. So we have Divine Exclusive with proven trail. And this is very hard to get and very hard to kind of beat every time as well. So this is another unique point. I really invite you to look at the market. You will find very few to none, and those who will find will be totally different price shelf. We're able to do it again because we have them together. We work for so long. We have amazing relationship with perfume houses, And we also produce in-house.
Thank you. It's amazing. It's amazing. So many arguments, so many things that we can actually incorporate in our sales pitch when we want to promote one of our fragrances. So you personally, Sasha, which from Oriflame would be your favorite male fragrance and female fragrance?
Very good question. You know what problem I have, Santiago? My favorites haven't been launched yet.
Ay, ay, ay.
Because
Okay.
we work 2 years out. So I'm thrilled to see you in Rome because we will launch something mind-blowing. From the ones that we have today, All or Nothing and the Floral. These are my ultimate favorites. Where do you see them? Here. From the female collections, I have to admit that I am in a very special relationship with Essenza. This is our ultimate bestseller. Everyone loves it. I feel like maybe because everyone loves it, I want to be a little bit different or feel bolder with All or Nothing. For the male collection, I actually love the Ascendant brand. So the Ascendant, my husband might not agree. He likes some of the Possessed fragrances, but sometimes I have to make him wear it for me to enjoy. But as I said,
I am crazy about Possess the Secret. Totally
Possess the
crazy
Secret.
about that one.
You're not alone. It's one of the best sellers
so
in our
good.
fragrance portfolio.
So good. Don't make me tell you what that generates on my wife, but it's amazing. It's simply gorgeous. It's fantastic. Okay, Sasha, now that you're speaking about things that are coming in the future, this audience in Fika Podcast, they're very curious. Very
Yes,
curious.
I
They
heard.
want
I've
to
seen.
know in and out. Can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek of what is coming probably in Christmas, probably in Q4, probably in Q1 next year? What should we expect the most on fragrance category?
Okay. In short, also, just so you know, we bring around 20 new fragrances every year. We smell around 50 different options before we decide on which one to go for. We also test them versus competition to ensure that they are very, very well performing. So it's 1,000 different smells that my team goes through every year. This year, in Q4, we have something super spectacular. We didn't talk about it yet, Santiago, but within the perfumers who would develop the fragrances, who are so few, they're less than astronauts in the whole world. So this is very special bunch of people who make fragrances. So among them, there is crème de la crème. There is elite, which are master perfumers. So with one of our master perfumers, Nathalie Lorson, we are actually working on something exciting around Essenzas. So this beautiful lady would not stay alone anymore. I'm afraid I cannot tell you much more around it. But one thing I can definitely tell you, Santiago, is that there will be something that will challenge the possessed secret in your wardrobe. So it's not only for the females, for the women, amazing ladies in our community, but also some for the men.
Ay, 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 fantastic, fantastic. I can imagine what people are understanding by listening to you. And there's a lot of expectation. It's building up. I can see that. So Sasha, thank you very much. You have to promise to come to this show again, Sasha, because we need to talk about duology. We need to talk about the skincare for your scalp, and that's a huge topic. We need to embark in that conversation in a different time. So Sasha, it has been absolutely fantastic. These distributors in Mexico, they already love you. Those who know you already fell in love with you because they heard you, they saw you on stage. So thank you for being with us. We count the days until you come again to one of our big events in Mexico and again inspire us to love these products and to get to really know what to say in order to sell them correctly. So Sasha, thank you very much. I also told my audience that you love Spanish and that you can even say goodbye in Spanish to this fantastic audience. So
Muchas
Sasha,
gracias,
please.
muchas gracias, Santiago. Nos vemos pronto. Adiós.
Yes. And for you guys that were connected, gracias a todos los que estuvieron conectados. Compartan este contenido, share it with everyone. Los amamos, gracias por estar con nosotros en estos episodios y esperen el próximo lunes otra invitada u otro invitado maravilloso como el que tuvimos ahora. Sasha, gracias.
Chao.
Un abrazo grande desde América Latina. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.